from Asexualize My Asexual Life. This is supposed to be for education about asexuality, all things asexual, and I share my asexual life journey in order to help you in yours. If you haven't already subscribed yet, hit that great big subscribe button right here, right now. Please hit that bell icon so you get notified of every time I post a new video. So if you didn't know who I am Sandra Bellamy, author of this awesome Asexual Perspectives 47 Asexual Stories book. Don't forget the link to this is down below in the description. I'm also the author of Fibromyalgia Self-Help Handbook. When I say description, I'm talking about the description of the channel. So, yes, today's video, I want to talk to you about the fact that a woman doesn't owe a guy anything. Her body is her own, and stop pressurizing women to meet up with you. So, going back to a previous video I did, I said that there was someone I'd met who was Indian in the UK. I'm not revealing his personal details. And I really like this guy aesthetically, to be honest. I was highly aesthetically attracted to him, loved his age, loved his look. And I originally met him on Facebook dating. And I thought that we might meet up, right? But if you saw my video about boundaries and having the ability to walk away, then you will know that I began to feel pressurized by him, right? You know, to meeting up. And unfortunately, it didn't go well. And the last time we video chatted, he was really putting pressure on me to come down to see me from where he lives. And he was saying that if he was going to travel 3 hours to see me, then I would owe him 3 hours of kissing. And I'm like, no, I don't owe a guy anything. A woman doesn't owe a guy anything, right? So if you are any guy listening to this now, you do not own a woman's body. You do not own a woman at all. A woman has a right to choose who she sees, when she sees him, and not be dictated to by a guy. Her body is her own. And I became more and more nervous, because if a guy is pushing for stuff like that, then he probably most likely is going to try and push me into sex. And that is just horrible. He wanted to like travel down to see me in the middle of the night when my ankle's broken. I mean, what goes through a guy's head when I'm injured? He said it might make me feel better. I agree that the kissing, if I wanted to do that, which I said that I am interested in kissing. I didn't deny that. But there's a big difference between being interested in kissing and like expecting someone to kiss you because it's basically he's going to travel that far, so I owe him kissing. It's like, no. Like, I told him I would have to get to know him first before on video chats. And a guy who's just pushing for physical stuff all the time, they don't really care about a girl. All they care about is the physical stuff and getting a thrill out of it, you know? And it's not good, right? And so, you know, like, I'm not going to go out in the middle of the night with a broken ankle, you know, even if kissing might make me feel a bit better, as in it might take my mind off the pain. I'm not going to deny that. I'm not going to do that in the middle of the night. And I'm certainly not going to owe a guy something or anything just because he travels miles. I have friends that come like 200 miles to see me. Some people have travelled further than that. I had a guy who spent 14 hours on a coach just come to one of my asexual meetups. I think it was 14 hours, or was it 11 hours? Might have been 11 hours. It was over 10 hours. I know that. It was like 11 or 14. I can't remember what it was now. But it was, he lived really, really far away in Brighton. So Brighton to Exeter, UK, if you look at that, that's how many miles he travelled. But it was by bus. So it took hours for him. And he was like only 20 at the time. And he stayed in B&B and he had to go all the way back again. You know, without any physical stuff. He just came to one of my meetups. But he was interested in me because he was foreign and he was interested in a possible relationship, I think, because he was asking me about children. I don't want children. And he was like, I was on my own with him. I had a little bit of a spiritual connection with him, but I've never seen him again. He was Facebook friends with me. I don't know if he still is. I haven't spoke to him for a long time. But the point is he came that way, you know, for a meetup. As an asexual meetup, he didn't expect anything from me, even though he knew I liked foreign guys and I knew he didn't mind about age. So, you know, it's like, you know, like, and my friends come and see me and they don't expect things of me just because they come and see me and travel hundreds of miles, you know? Like, it's really bad, you know. A guy does not own a woman's body. A guy should not be demanding stuff. He's like, oh yeah, he wanted to tell me what to do. I'm like, I don't be told what to do by any guy. You know, just because you're Indian. Like, he knows I like Indian guys. I like Indian guys, but not to the point where I like them more than I love myself. I wouldn't do anything for them like that. I wouldn't disrespect myself just for that. And I love kissing, yeah, but not to the point where I'm going to disrespect myself and do things I don't want to do. Right? You know, like, I told him that the most I kissed in a relationship was up to 3 hours before, which is true. But that was in a relationship. I told him, and I kept saying to him, I don't do casual relationships, and he's not going to stay in this country. He's going back to his country next year. If any guy really likes a girl, he will stay in the country no matter what, right? So if a guy's like going to go back to his country, he's not really that interested, you know? And so, you know, and I'm speaking out for other asexuals as well, because there was an aromantic asexual friend of mine. She had the same thing happen to her, but she had a guy who randomly contacted her and wanted her to meet up, and like other asexuals giving her advice saying it's a huge red flag. You know, if this guy's putting pressure on you, what's he going to pressurize you into? You know, and even this woman said today, you know, this guy who was pressurizing me, who I didn't mention his name or any personal details, obviously. I was just saying that I've had to let a guy go, and I blocked him in the end on Facebook. I said bye, and I told him I'm not going to meet up with you, and I unfriended him and blocked him. I said bye first, so I was polite about it, you know. It's a shame because, you know, I've always thought I have an asexual. He wasn't asexual. I've always thought I had an Indian soulmate who was like 21, looked similar to him, and you know, he could be a nice guy to talk to, really aesthetically attractive, but obviously I'm not his girl. I'm not the life he wants, and he just wants basically casual physical stuff with me, and that's just horrible, really. You know, I don't like that. It's not good, but especially not when a guy is demanding stuff because he travels, you know. That's like it's kind of like prostitution. Like, oh, if I'm paying to travel to see you, then you should owe me this, you know. If you remember, I dated a heterosexual guy. Is it in 2018 or 17? I can't remember now. It was quite a long time ago. As you know, on this channel, it's, you know, for 2 months, and he told me that usually he pays for a meal for a woman and then she gives him sex. I mean, like, it's like, I don't have to pay for anything if I want sex. I can get loads of guys for sex quite easily. I get offered it all the time. I don't need to pay anyone, right? Like, it makes me laugh. Like, this guy was saying about sugar mummies, and I was like, I'm not a sugar mummy. I never have been, and I never will be. I do not need to pay. A sugar mummy is someone who's older, a woman who pays young guys for sex. I don't want sex. And if I had it and wanted it, I could easily get it. So easily. I get offered it all the time, right? And I don't need to pay it. I'm a gorgeous girl. I do not need to pay guys to have sex with me. If I want sex, I can get really hot, young, foreign guys in my city to do that for me. Like, if I loved sex so much, if I was a sex maniac, I could probably have a different guy for most nights of the week, sometimes. You know, but I'm not interested in sex, and that's not who I am. And I want a guy who's different, and who loves me for my personality more than anything. My looks, yeah, I want him to love my looks and say that I look good, but I also want him to love my personality more than anything, because at the end of the day, looks can change. And, you know, personality is the most important thing at the end of the day. It's really, really, really important, you know? So I'm really sorry for my asexual aromantic friend that had a similar thing happen to her. You know, and when I told Put about this fact that I'd had to let a guy go that I was very aesthetically attracted to him, that we did video chat, and, you know, I did, you know, it made me want to kiss him. I was aesthetically attracted to him, but, you know, after putting pressure on me, I had to walk away. This woman, person said, you know, I think that's like rapey vibes from that. And I thought the same thing. I thought, God, you know, like, if a guy's pressurizing me into doing physical stuff, and thinking I owe him something, what's he going to be like if I was alone with him? You know, it's really scary, and I feel sorry that he did that to me, you know? Maybe he didn't mean to do that, I don't know, but at the end of the day, he's like, I'm Indian, I can do what I like and tell you what to do, and it's like, no, just because I like Indian guys doesn't give you the right to walk all over me. I will never have that, you know? And so, yeah, and so it was, in the end, I felt really nervous, really anxious. It wasn't good for my health. I was in a lot of emotional pain because I really did like this guy. I did say, like, what if you are my soulmate? What if you're meant to be with me, before he started getting really pressurizing? And, what if you're meant to be with me? But then he's going back to his country. So clearly he's not the guy for me. But I'm glad I had that experience. I'm glad I had it with a younger 21-year-old Indian guy. Even though I didn't get to date him. But it's really weird. I manifested him in a way, because I said, like, less than 24 hours before, I just want a guy, an Indian guy, to come along that I can at least have a date with. And then he showed up, like, at the same time I said that. Like, I'm really good at manifesting things into reality. But when it came to actually the crunch, it's like, I can't meet this guy because he's just not right for me. He's just pressurizing. He doesn't love me. Although he used the words love. They do that, to get what they want, sadly. And I didn't say that to him. And it's a shame because, when you think about stuff, you think about possible potential, but you always have to remember the potential is not the same as reality. If a guy you want to imagine is the best guy for you isn't, and you can't lie to yourself, So I had my kind of really strong physical chemistry for him, as in, for me, as an asexual person, because I don't experience sexual attraction, for me, it's like chemistry, as in, I really want to snog your face off. I'm really highly aesthetically attracted to you. If I did kiss you, it'd probably be very, very passionate. And I have sensual attraction with the guy's top half of the body, and I felt romantic attraction. So romantic, sensual, and aesthetic, right? So I had all that going on, like really high octane, adrenaline pumping attraction. But I've learned from my past that you can have that with a guy who can be very bad for you, who's not right for you, who is pressurizing you, who is doing stuff. I mean, he was on Facebook dating still, chatting to other women. So it's not like he really cared in that way, you know what I mean? So I think he did probably have some feeling for me, but maybe it was just sexual attraction. I don't know. Lust, maybe. I don't know. Aesthetic attraction, I would say he had that for me. Yeah, definitely. Romantic, maybe a tiny little bit. I think he was pushing that quite a bit because he knew I liked romance. So, but yeah. Anyway, it's his loss, Look, when he looks back at his life and thinks that moment that he could have had me, that hasn't, I think he might regret it later on. I think he might think years later, God, I've got the normal Indian life, marriage, sex, kids, I'm happy, but I always remember that girl, the one I pressurized into meeting up with her when I shouldn't have done that. If he's a decent guy in the future, if he has a conscience and cares, really. Yeah. But I let him go, and I was so happy. I saw this quote in like the Asexual Business and Entrepreneurs group. My friend Melissa always knows exactly what I'm thinking and feeling, and she put this post in there. And, and it was about when one door closes, like slam it firm shut, basically, for new opportunities. So basically, if something's not working, you just have to literally block the person, say bye, even though it was heartbreaking in some ways for me to do that, because I knew how attracted I was and the potential was there. The actual reality is the potential wasn't there, because this guy was pressurizing. He was obviously after physical stuff, probably for me to train him up so he could go and do that with other women. And he's not asexual, couldn't be with me, just wants something casual. And so that's no good for me, and to put pressure on a woman and say that a woman owes a guy something just because he's traveling to see her. He didn't even want to be seen in public with me, really. I think it was like an ethnicity thing, or maybe an age thing as well. And it's like, if the guy doesn't want that, it's not really into you. If you have to convince a guy that it's fine to be seen in public with you, it's not good. I've got loads of other guys that really wouldn't care. Years ago, I got asked out on a date by an 18-year-old who wanted to have dinner with me. He didn't give a toss about what people thought, and I've been with Bangladesh guys before. I was snogging a Bangladesh guy in public once years ago. He was 21. That was my best kiss at the time. Obviously, I've kissed an Indian guy since then. But, it's like, I don't need that in my life. I'm an attractive girl. There's loads of other guys out there for me. And I don't want to be with someone like that. And I blocked him for my own good, I want to end that. So I've always said to you, if you've got the wrong guy in your life, the right one cannot show up. While you're hankering after someone else and you haven't let that person go, you'll always have the problem. You can't, your heart's not open for another person, right? And so after I saw this post from Melissa, I thought, oh, this means I need to like really close the door on this Indian guy. And then I saw my friend, our romantic asexual friend, getting advice about what she had about a guy pressurizing her. And all the different asexuals write message to her. And I thought, damn, they're like giving advice to me. It's like, you know, so I'm guided by my intuition. It's like the quote's telling me to give this guy up, slam the door shut. And also, you know, he's pressurizing, could be a very dangerous situation. You're not safe. Huge red flags, just get rid of this guy out of your life, right? However much it might hurt temporarily, right? So I did all that and I felt much better afterwards. I felt sad though at the time, but only a couple of hours later, right, this guy messages me out of nowhere that I spoke to like last year, I think it was. And I actually came across him on my asexual page. He liked I think he liked a video or something I did on there. And I actually messaged him, I approached him because I thought he was good looking. And yeah, but when he messaged me back, it sounded like, although at that time he hadn't had sex, he was thinking about having it, right? And so I said, well, I'm not interested in that at all, you know? So basically, you know, the conversation ended with I thought that he needed sex in a relationship, even though at that point he hadn't had it. And I'm being careful not to use too much personal details about him. And so, you know, I thought he needed sex. But he came back yesterday, only a couple of hours later, after I got rid of the Indian guy out of my life. And this time it was different. Like, he said that he would be okay without that, which is really good. And I actually believe him on that. And we were messaging for ages and it felt so incredible. And it felt like it was different with him this time. He was kind, caring, attentive. Like, he made me feel so special and loved and cared and cherished for in those messages for about, I don't know, we feel like we were messaging for like 3 hours or something. It was a long time. But I thought, you know, I'm just so relieved that he's got back in touch with me. He friend requested me straight away and we were talking. And I thought, this guy really cares about me. I feel loved by him, cherished, feel special. He's just come back into my life. He's made me feel that way straight away. He put me at peace with my soul. I don't usually get that with guys, not in a romantic way, not guys that are interested in me romantically. I get that from writing, but not usually from guys. And he made me at peace with my soul and made me feel loved, cherished, and special in those messages. I'm like, how is that possible? And like the way we talk is like incredible. It's like really comfortable with each other. So yeah, now I'm in a bit of a dilemma because this guy isn't Indian, but he said his forefathers were Indian. Like, so he's like of Indian descent and he's Pakistani. I do get attracted to Pakistani guys as well. I'm not interested in facial hair. Like, he's grown his hair, really long facial hair now. I was like, oh god, I really can't be asexually attracted to loads of facial hair. It like covers up the beautiful young face he's got. So I have told him about that, but you know what I mean? You know what it's like for me with beards. I just can't stand them. They're gross to me. I hate beards. It's like, get rid of beard. I can't tell him what to do. Obviously, it's up to him what he does. But I'm just telling you, like, he looks far more handsome, gorgeous, and good looking. The less facial hair he's got, the more hotter he looks. Aesthetically hotter, like snoggable. Really gorgeous. So I just think, oh god, I wish he looked like he did in his old photographs, because in his old photographs he's just mwah. Don't tell him I said that though. He might watch this channel. He was watching this channel, I think, a bit before, so yeah. But yeah, he's really nice to talk to. It's put me in a bit of a dilemma. He's in his 20s, so he's 27. I've got to be careful not to give too much personal information away, obviously. But I won't give his identity away or anything like that, you know. But I don't think he'd mind me sharing this stuff because it's all positive, you know. And I just felt really loved and cared for, you know. And it's possible he could be my soulmate, this guy. You know, anything's possible. But I've been stuck on the fact lately that 100% is an Indian guy. He's like probably between 21 and 23. But I do know that guys in their early to mid 20s a lot of the time don't even know what the hell they want. And so it's not actually so good. And it's really interesting because I have a Pakistani friend from years ago who doesn't really speak to me hardly ever. But when they were in my country, they advised me that it would be better for me to get a guy who's in his later 20s. And so I kind of think it's kind of uncanny and weird and strange and coincidental that the Pakistani friend of mine was telling me that I'd need a older foreign guy in his later 20s that would be better for me. And then this Pakistani guy's 27. So, and he knows what he wants more. And something he said tonight in a private message just reminded me of exactly what I thought about my soulmate would think and feel. So that is really interesting. I mean, there are no coincidences in life. It just doesn't actually happen. Everything happens for a reason. I felt good in a way that I have shut the door on that other Indian guy to let this other guy into my life, you know? And there's another Indian guy that's coming to my city, but we're not suitable because we're just two different people and we've already discussed that. But probably see him as a friend. Will I be attracted to him? Probably a bit, but not that much in terms of like, well, I like the Pakistani guy now, if I'm honest. And also, you know, the guy that's coming to my city with very different people. It wouldn't work out at all. Even though he's Indian, just wouldn't work. So I already know that. But it's good I got that out of the way as well and established all that before I talked to the Pakistani guy. So he seems really kind. He seems really caring so far. I pick up a really good vibe from him. I pick up a very peaceful vibe. Like last night when I had a shower, it's like, oh my God, I feel at peace with my soul because I had this guy messaging me. He really calmed me down in my soul. Like I was upset about the Indian guy, but as soon as he started talking to me and messaging me, and he just like, you can talk to him about anything and everything, which obviously my soulmate I'd be able to do. And it was so peaceful and so calm. And he's messaged me. I loved it. Like this, well, yesterday morning now, because I've gone to the next day, he sent me a morning message. He sent me a message partway through the day to check on me. And I messaged him before I went to my Asexual Academy Club. And I just thought this is really good. But I have told him the truth. I like Indian guys. But he's really weird. He loves Indian movies. Like he likes the dance movies that I like the same ones. It's like some of his favourite ones. So we do have stuff in common. He's very intelligent as well. He is studying here. That's the only thing. But I think he's the type of guy that probably would make staying in the UK happen. But I would have to have faith in that, you know, and I don't want to get hurt again. So that is a little bit of a difficulty for me. But he seems like very mature for his age. He likes older women as well, so he would have no problem being in public with me. Yeah, he seems a really nice person. Like I feel his heart. I do like him a lot actually, but you know, like it's kind of weird. It's like, well, what about the Indian thing? But he is if his forefathers were originally from India, then you know he is of Indian descent actually. So it isn't like he's got no connection. And Pakistan used to be part of India, didn't it? And I did say previously that I thought my guy was in the least foreign in his 20s, and maybe he's not actually Indian, but from a neighbouring country like Pakistan or Bangladesh or even Sri Lankan guys look like Indian guys who need to look like an Indian guy, basically, even if he wasn't an Indian guy. Even some French guys I've had attraction for lately, some of them I think look a bit Indian. Like, what's going on with that? I have like Moroccan guys as well, and they don't really look Indian at all. So yeah, but I'm really happy this guy's come into my life. I really appreciate him. It's like really weird. It's completely different to when I messaged him last year. Like he's completely like, it's like so switched on now to me, and maybe just timing's better for me and him. Maybe like now's the time. I don't know. I've been single for so long, and it's like, you know, I haven't really thought about anyone seriously, I guess. And, you know, it gets a bit scary, doesn't it? Thinking about a serious relationship, even if it's something you want. So I'm just going to see where that goes. You know, I think I've got to listen to myself and my intuition, because obviously I've always thought it's an Indian guy. Even more lately, I've thought it's an Indian guy. But that Indian guy really is wrong for me. I haven't found the right Indian guy for me. So maybe he isn't Indian. Exactly. After all. Maybe this other guy is good for me, you know. He's certainly good for me. So far, so good, you know. the fact he doesn't need sex as well, it does indicate that it's very good potential match in that way for me. You know, I just have to see what happens, I think. But you know, I've been so fixated on Indian guy, it's kind of like hard to switch my mind off of that now. But I think only time will tell. I will have to see what else happens with this guy, because if he says lots of things that resonate with me as a soulmate and I feel at peace with my soul, then I might just realise that it is him after all. You never know. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's got to be something good between me and him, because of the way he talks to me, and I feel so peaceful in my soul. It's not normal to feel that peaceful when you talk to a guy, not a guy who's romantically interested in you. Don't usually feel that, especially if they're not asexual. I don't know if he's asexual. I mean, he's not really needing sex, but I just think maybe he's a heterosexual that don't really need sex. I don't know, but I originally spoke to him because he came across my asexual page. So I don't know. But, you know, he's just really nice to talk to, and I really appreciate him being in my life and caring about me so much. And he seems to know what to do in terms of relationship. He's been in a serious relationship before years ago. So, you know, I just think it's really good. You know, to feel loved, cherished, adored, and special by someone just through text messaging alone, without any sexual stuff, and just through talking. He's very good at conversation. It's just incredible. And I love the fact he does share feelings and emotions and stuff. That's really good. There's a lot of good stuff with that guy. I do feel very blessed and grateful, thankful that he came into it, especially at the right time. Like you say, it was destiny. So yeah, I just feel really peaceful with him. It's really strange in a good way. So anyway, I'm going to love you and leave you for now with that thought. But, you know, I just want to say that guys do not own women's bodies. Guys do not own a woman. Women do not owe guys anything. And, you know, if you really, really have strong feelings for someone, but they're not treating you right, you have to have the ability to walk away and carry it through and slam that door firmly shut. Because if you don't slam it shut, new opportunities are better for you will not come your way. You cannot open your heart fully to someone else if you're still hankering after someone else. I could not, if the Pakistani guy had come into my life any sooner back into my life, I could not open my heart fully to him, because I'd still be hankering after the Indian guy, which I know's closed completely now. I'm glad I closed it, because I think it would have carried on if I hadn't closed it. It would have been one of those type of relationships that's not good. Do you know what I mean? One that, like, oh, we will meet up, we won't meet up, we will, we won't. And it's, you know, I don't want to be with a guy who pressurizes me into something. I've been in that pattern of relationship before, and I'm not going to go there again. I'm too sensible and loving for myself to do that ever again. So yeah, so I'm feeling really grateful and thankful that everything has turned out really good so far. I got rid of a guy that's no good for me in my life, and I've got a better one who's shown up for me so far. And yeah, I'm feeling good, really. So yes, if you're a guy listening to this and you think you own women's bodies, you don't. And a woman doesn't owe you anything. You should be with a woman, meet her, love her company, enjoy being with her without any expectation of anything. If a guy wants to get any intimacy with a woman, he should be putting a woman completely at ease so that she doesn't feel she has to do anything. She's more likely to want to do stuff if you're not pressurizing her into it. Right? Just imagine, like, if you have an orange and you're smashing it to bits. Like, the juice is flying everywhere. It's just horrible. But if you peel that orange carefully and you give it some time alone to decide what it wants to do before taking any action, then it's a lot better, isn't it? Tastes much more sweeter. Anyway, I'm going to love you and leave you for now. Take care. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. Hit that bell icon so you get notified every time I go and post a new video. Take care. Love you. Speak to you soon. Bye-bye.